Welcome to the 9th episode of the Three Sportsmen podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kurt.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Trey.
And in this episode, we are going to be finishing our position ranking series with centers.
Damn it.
If you missed any of the other episodes in this series, you can check them out on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, you can subscribe and follow us on social media, on Twitter.
At Podcast T3S.
And on Instagram.
At T3S Podcast.
We appreciate any support. So without further ado, let's get into our center rankings. So Sam, who did you have in your elite tier of centers?
This is a given. Jokic and Karl Anthony Towns. That's the thing. If you don't have those two in your elite tier, you don't watch basketball and you're an idiot. And if you do actually watch basketball, you should just stop watching basketball forever.
No, you should watch more basketball so you know that they're actually good.
To get educated.
Exactly.
Educate yourself.
Also, I had Rudy Gobert, Andre Drummond, and as much as I hate to say this, I really, really don't want to say this, but Joel Embiid.
Trey, who did you have?
I had Jokic, Towns, and the very entertaining Joel Embiid.
I had Towns, Jokic, Gobert, as much as I hate to say it, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Vucevic. So I think...
All right, what's your beef with Embiid?
He's just... Okay, number one, he should not...
He's a bitch. He's a little... He doesn't know how to back his up. Like, do you remember when he pushed Russell Westbrook? Like, what the man?
I think
you remember when they thought he was a rookie in his third year?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Simmons won Rookie of the Year in his second year?
Over Donovan Mitchell?
Mitchell. Change that rule. If you guys could see Sam right now, it would be
he's shaking.
Amazing.
My God, dude. Donovan Mitchell had that Rookie of the Year
He
one by
had
far.
Even if they were going to consider Simmons, it should have gone to Mitchell.
I mean, Philadelphia's a bigger market. That's why.
Also, remember, when was it? December, I think? November, December? When Joel Embiid scored 0 points against the Raptors? Because I sure do. Remember when
Sam here holding up 2 Donovan Mitchell jerseys?
Yes, his Donovan Mitchell
should have been
jerseys
Rookie
out
of the
now.
Year. Rookie of the Year, right here.
He should have been. He should have been.
I don't know. I think Joel Embiid's really good for the NBA. He brings entertainment.
No, he doesn't.
He went 0 for 11
entertainment
against the Raptors.
He makes people want to watch. Because you got people like you hate him, and then you want to watch and see him lose.
Okay,
So
old man Marc Gasol, who had virtually no offseason because of the NBA Finals and the FIBA World Cup. Joel Embiid went 0 for 11 against him, 0 for 4 from 3, 13 rebounds, which, yeah, that's pretty good, 2 assists, and then 5 fouls. 5 fouls, 4 turnovers in 31 minutes. This is going to be a fun one. You already know.
All right, do we have to go to stars now? Or do we have anything else?
Sam,
we have to talk about Vucevic.
Sam, you had Drummond, right?
I did.
Why did you put Andre Drummond in elite?
Okay, Andre Drummond, he's been with nobody. He hasn't been, like, on a team where he can actually grow. Like, the Pistons were able to mold him into what he is now. He's on the Cavs.
He doesn't fit the
Pistons and the Cavs. Just imagine if he was on a team like the Mavs, because they're an up-and-coming team.
My complaint with Drummond, he puts up great numbers for points and rebounding, but he's not a modern NBA center. Like, if he played 10 years ago, I think he would be great.
His scoring's just not that good for me to be elite.
If he developed a three-point shot, then I would 100% put him in elite.
He's an elite rebounder.
He's an elite rebounder.
It's just scoring. He needs to improve his scoring.
And that's why I decided not to put him in elite. I had Vucevic in elite, though.
I like Vucevic, but I think elite's a little bit much.
He's averaging 19.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. His three-point percentage is actually pretty good, little under 33%.
But he's on the Magic, so
he's their number one guy.
They have young pieces. They have young pieces out there.
They have young pieces. He's their number one guy. I think because he's in a small market on a team that doesn't really get a lot of respect, he's not getting the attention he deserves.
I don't get enough respect.
He doesn't get the attention he deserves, but I don't think he's in the same tier as Towns and Jokic. And
I think he's definitely below them. But when I think of the best centers in the league, I think of Vucevic before a lot of other guys. Like, I think of Vucevic before, like, Andre Drummond.
I do, too.
He was an all-star last year in 2018-19.
I was, too.
You were definitely an all-star.
Basically, anyone in the East was. That was halfway decent.
Pretty much. That's what the Eastern Conference is.
Dude, if Bam Adebayo was in the West, dude, he'd be a nobody.
Most Eastern Conference All-Stars wouldn't be – like, of course, Giannis would be.
Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe.
Bledsoe wasn't an All-Star.
No.
Yes, he was. No, Bledsoe wasn't. But
no, he wasn't.
Middleton was.
No, Bam benefits from being in the Heat. Like, the Heat are a really good team that develop players.
But I think he's their clear number 2 guy. Behind Jimmy.
Him and Jimmy are a good duo, actually.
Yeah.
Star.
All right, Trey, who did you have in your star tier then?
Rudy Gobert, Vucevic, Andre Drummond, Hassan Whiteside, Clint Capella, and DeAndre Ayton.
Okay. Sam?
I had Vucevic, Capella, Whiteside, and Turner.
Okay. I had Clint Capella, Andre Drummond, Steven Adams, DeAndre Ayton, and Hassan Whiteside.
Wait, how'd you have Turner?
That's what
Turner's
I'm wondering.
not a bad center. He's underrated.
He's not bad, but he's at the same time, he's not. I don't think he's necessarily a star. I wouldn't consider him in the same tier as a guy like Andre Drummond, Hassan Whiteside, Capella, or Ayton.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, 11 points, or almost 12, 11.8. 6 rebounds, 1 assist.
Wait, whoa. Apparently there's gonna be there might be a Miles Turner to the Celtics trade.
I've heard a lot of trade rumors involving him, and I've heard a lot of trade rumors that get the Celtics a center. I think if they wanted to get a center, they should have tried to get Drummond because the Cavs got him for virtually nothing.
That would be a good spot for Drummond.
Well, don't forget, Miles Turner is only he's still a young kid.
He's still young.
He's still a young guy. Like, I'm putting him in star. He's underrated.
I think he needs more to prove.
I think he needs to develop just a little bit more.
At least he's not Domantas Sabonis.
Sabonis
is good.
He's a hard worker.
I hate him. I like Sabonis. Like, he's a great player, but I just don't like Sabonis.
I think it's because he took that all-star spot from Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine was way more deserving than Sabonis.
No, but did he?
Can't even lie.
Sabonis does
a certain amount of bigs because I don't know if that really matters. Because don't you need a certain amount of guards?
Sabonis does the dirty work. He gets offensive rebounds. He's not the flashiest guy out there, but I think he's still.
Sabonis.
He should have been an honorable mention at least. DeAndre Ayton, I did not realize how good of a season he's actually been having.
I don't think he's a star because he's a steroids boy, but
I mean, he missed what was that, a 25-game suspension, I think?
It was something like that. But when he was on the floor, he was a star killer.
Still 19 and 12. It's pretty good. And I know he's going to spend the rest of his career being told, oh, it should have been Luka, because, it should have been.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in almost any other draft class, I'd take a guy who's averaging 19 and 12 in his second year.
He's still got more to go, too. I think he's going to get better.
I mean, I like what the Suns have with him and Aaron Baines at center.
Aaron Baines
fan club. Represent. And Hassan Whiteside has been having a pretty good year.
Blocking machine.
Yeah, Jack called him overrated.
Yeah,
I remember
previous
that.
guest. Yeah, he was saying that he's not a good defender, but he's just like the best shot blocker in the NBA.
He is the best shot blocker in the NBA.
I mean, this year the advanced
Didn't
stats.
he almost have like 8? Didn't he almost have like 10 blocks against the Bulls or something like that?
When he was on the Heat, he had like 12, I want to say, or 11. Like
he's averaging really 14 rebounds a game.
He's averaging 3 blocks this year.
I almost put him in my elite tier, to be honest with you, but
I think Star is a good spot.
I think Star is a good spot for him.
I think if he has another really, really good year, I think he can be elite.
If he gets up to like 20 points per game, then I think he can be elite.
But keep in mind, Nurkic is coming back for the playoffs for Portland.
That's true. So there's going to be a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of taken. There's going to be a little bit taken off.
Of Whiteside,
I guess. Yeah.
But I like what the addition of Nurkic brings to Portland because their bench defense when Whiteside wasn't on the floor was horrible.
Yeah.
So getting a guy who can put up like 15 and 10 a night when he's fully healthy, it should help them.
They're a scary team.
They're going to be a threat for that 8th seed. I don't see them beating whichever LA team clinches the number 1 seed.
I don't either, but it's going to be a really weird playoffs with everyone not playing forever.
Yeah.
So you never know what can happen.
You never know.
Not saying it's going to happen, but you never know.
We'll talk about it later once it's closer to the end of July. We'll make our playoff predictions. All right, now on to the good tier. I'll start this one. I had Daniel Theis, Wendell Carter Jr., Christian Wood, Miles Turner, Jonas Valanciunas, Brooke Lopez, Mitchell Robinson, Jarrett Allen, and Marc Gasol. Sam, who do you have?
I've got Hayes, Adams, Gasol, Valanciunas, Lopez, Cauley-Stein, Zubac, Wendell Carter, Ayton, and Leonard.
I got Steven Adams, Valanciunas, Thomas Bryant, Brooke Lopez, Jared Allen, Marc Gasol, Christian Wood, and Wendell Carter Jr.
I love Wendell.
Wendell's a great piece for the Bulls.
I just think he's just undersized. That's part of his problem too.
Yeah.
I think he could be better if he was bigger.
If he was like 2 inches taller, I think he would be a beast.
He's like 6'9" right now. Plus,
Basketball Reference has him at 6'9".
As a Bulls fan, this might be biased, but he gets screwed by the refs every game.
Yes, he does.
Every game.
God. Oh my God. It's so annoying. I will not go. Like, I remember, Trey, do you remember at the Pelicans game that we went to? He got screwed over every time he was guarding Zion.
Yeah.
Oh, Zion. The NBA loves
Because
Zion.
he'd be in foul trouble every single game. It would be like 2 fouls in the first quarter quick off of like dinky fouls.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he's
Wendell
he's averaging 3 fouls a game this year, 3.8.
Yeah, Wendell will literally block the living out of some dude. And the ref will be like, oh, you got arm. You got all arm, buddy. You got all arm.
Or the one game against the Thunder, he was doing a jump ball with Steven Adams, and Steven Adams knocked his hand down, and they called a foul at Wendell.
Well, remember when this wasn't Wendell, but I don't remember who it was. It was the Thunder, where Chris Paul literally came up behind Zach LaVine and smacked his hand to get the ball away. And that was the game-winning drive, too, and the refs didn't call it.
I remember that. That was at the United Center,
I think
right?
I remember.
Yeah, I was so pissed. I was so pissed. Call the league. Call Adam Silver. Like, fix your refs. Jesus. It's like, I swear to God, sometimes I'll look at some refs, even the refs that I play with in hockey. I swear to God.
Well, the NBA's problem is they added the checking foul, like the hand check.
Yeah.
And it just made it a lot softer. That's what the problem is. And I hate that rule.
Honestly, there were a lot of pretty good centers. I didn't realize how Jonas Valanciunas was doing in Memphis. He's still playing pretty solid.
I always liked him.
Centers don't get a lot of talk. That's why.
They do the dirty work.
Yeah.
Exactly. People don't realize that.
Because Daniel Theis for Boston. Honestly, I haven't been worried about a Boston team being a threat in the playoffs since the last team with Isaiah Thomas. But he's actually playing pretty efficiently this year for them at center, taking over for Al Horford, Daniel Theis.
So am I.
They're a scary team, I think, in the playoffs. They have a pretty good roster.
I like their roster the most that I have since that last Isaiah Thomas team. Because with that Kyrie trade and signing Hayward, they gave up a lot of depth, and that's what I thought the real advantage of that team was.
Yeah.
Because it was Isaiah Thomas and then a bunch of other just hardworking guys coached by a great basketball mind in Brad Stevens.
I love Brad Stevens. He's a good coach.
He should have won Coach of the Year over Dwayne Casey, because the only reason Casey won is because he adopted Nick Nurse's scheme because Masai told him to.
Now he's in Detroit.
Now he's in Detroit, and Nick Nurse just won an NBA championship last year, so I think we know who the better coach was.
And then Adrian Griffin is going to come off that coaching tree and give the Bulls number 7.
Budenholzer's better than Nick Nurse.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Jim Boylan's better than Nick Nurse.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
No. You can't say that. You can't say Jim Boylan's better than anyone with a straight face.
With a straight face.
Then, Trey, who's in your average tier?
I had PJ Tucker, Turner, Holmes from the Sacramento.
Yeah.
McGee, Mitchell Robinson, Theis, Zubik, Chris, and I don't even know how you pronounce the Spurs guy.
All right.
The Spurs
I
guy,
didn't
Pirtle?
Yeah, Pirtle.
I didn't. All right. So in my average tier, I had Jarrett Allen, Kleber, and Podol. But I didn't put Holmes in my average tier because I went to a Bulls-Kings game, and I remember Holmes was getting locked down by Felicio.
Oh my God.
That's when you know you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you know you're bad.
Worst player in the league, and then you're getting locked up by him.
That's
exactly.
pretty sad.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to know that the Bulls have the worst coach in the league and the worst player in the league.
Hey, two
It
negatives
is.
make a positive.
No, it
Math
doesn't.
class.
Not in the NBA.
Not in
it
this
doesn't.
case.
Not in the NBA,
Not in
they
this
don't.
case.
They're like, I think, like, if we're talking Adams here, like, you know, two negatives usually make a positive, but these two negatives make a double negative to the point where it's a ball of negative energy that just keeps spinning.
It makes it bad. Yeah.
And it, like, whenever they change, like, whenever the ice is in the United Center, it's positive vibe. But when the hardwood goes down and Jim Boylan and Felicio step on that court, it
all goes away.
Exactly. It just
all goes away.
It ruins the greatness of the Bulls logo when you see them
Exactly.
there.
In my average tier, I had Maxi Kleber, PJ Tucker, Ibaka Zubats, Rashawn Holmes, Thomas Bryant, JaVale McGee, and Cody Zeller.
Do we wait on the Cody Zeller rant?
Yes, we're waiting.
We're waiting for it. You
All
guys
right.
already just got a preview. We're having a Cody Zeller rant, but
And I'm actually with Sam on this one, so it's going to be different.
I don't hate Cody Zeller.
I do.
I do too.
We'll find out why. Keep on listening. So let's get to the Matt tier. I had Myers Leonard, Jackson Hayes, Jakob Pertl, and then whichever Warriors center you want to go with. They had Kevon Looney, Marquise Chris, and Willie Cauley-Stein playing that position throughout the season, and not really a big fan of any of those guys, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I had Kleber, Miles Leonard, and Jackson Hayes. And then I'll hold off on Zeller.
I
Sam?
had Wood, Robinson, Tucker, Bryant, Holmes, and Zeller.
So these are just all guys from teams that you don't like. Because, like, Christian Wood is actually not that bad. Mitchell
Christian
Robinson
Wood
is
was good.
insanely efficient, but he plays for the Knicks. And Christian Wood plays for the Pistons.
Exactly.
We know
Pistons
Knicks.
and the Knicks.
We've already had.
We've already had
rants on
that.
both
Go
those
back
teams.
to our shooting guard episode for a rant on Sam's favorite player of all time, Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard.
From your favorite school, Duke.
Is it time for Cody Zeller, Sam?
I think it's time for Sam's sixth tier. So,
all right.
What is your sixth tier called, and who is in it?
All right. So, my absolutely f***ing trash. I can't even stand them. So, there's 2 players in there this week.
Oh, we got 2.
I know I put Joel Embiid in elite, but I'm just trying to appeal to everybody. But Joel Embiid is my number 1 player. I hate Joel Embiid. I also hate Cody Zeller very, very much. They're all Cody Zeller just looks like an idiot.
He looks like he's like 50.
He looks like
dude, look at his hairline. It's like at the middle of his head.
Oh my god.
I mean, I've had a long history with him as a Northwestern fan. He just killed him while he was at IU, and he's so overrated in the NBA.
Draft. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, Cody Zeller out of Indiana is gonna be so good."
He was what? He was the 4th pick.
Was he the 4th? Was it that high?
He was 4th in the Okay, wait.
Oh my god.
Okay, but he was in the 2013 draft when Anthony Bennett went number 1. Wait. Okay, deep dive on the 2013 draft. Anthony Bennett, number 1. Victor Oladipo, number 2.
Okay, Oladipo's good.
Otto Porter at number 3. Cody Zeller at 4.
Trash.
Alex Len at 5.
Trash.
Nerlens Noel at 6.
Trash.
Where even is he?
Nerlens Noel?
Yeah.
I want to say Oklahoma City now.
He was good his rookie year, I think, wasn't he?
He got put in the pre-process Sixers right before they got Embiid, who they actually cared about. Ben McLemore at 7 that year, who actually has been pretty good in Houston this year as a role player.
Well, yeah, but not for that high. That's pretty bad.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope at 8.
KCP.
Trey Burke at 9. From your favorite school, Michigan.
See,
honestly, I think the NBA should legally change their records to every single first overall pick should be Alex Caruso.
Didn't some dude Photoshop him and then he got a drug test?
Man, that draft was miserable. That was horrible.
Yeah, but then you have Giannis at 15.
It's tough. But no one saw him coming, though.
No one saw that coming.
It's all good people.
You had some good talent in that draft. You had Rudy Gobert. You had CJ McCollum rounding out the top 10.
A Kunkpo.
So, yeah, it wasn't a draft of top guys in the top of the draft. It was more of the sleepers that were panned out.
Yeah. But just looking back at that top 10, it's weird.
I mean, Oladipo panned out pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, but it took him a while.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't get injured, I think he would have. I think he would be insane right now.
I think he needed to be in Indiana.
Yeah, that's his hometown. I think that's a cool story that he went there.
Where he's the number 1 guy now because, I mean, Oklahoma City, it was the Russell Westbrook show.
Yeah, it was.
Orlando didn't know how to use him.
I mean, Indiana was just the perfect fit. I mean, if he didn't go there, I don't think he would have panned out.
I think it was a win-win for both sides. Victor Oladipo's in his hometown or home state of Indiana.
Yeah.
I hope Cody Zeller steps on a Lego.
That's so random.
Just being honest.
He has a brother who is in the NBA, right? Tyler Zeller?
Oh, he's trash. Dude, he's trash, man.
Yeah, Tyler Zeller.
I think there's a brother, yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Zeller.
Trash.
He was 17th overall in the 2012 draft.
That's a bust. Where's he even at?
He's out of the league right now.
Of course he is. Cody Zeller's going to follow him soon.
Yeah, exactly. Cody Zeller is going to follow him.
Hey, Tyler Zeller went to your school, Sam, UNC.
He did.
Oh, and Sam's hating on a UNC player. That's kind of hypocritical there.
It is.
Yeah. He didn't play very much at UNC.
Still went 17th overall.
Wait, I'm thinking of a different guy.
And then Golden State's mess at center. This got me thinking.
But they're gonna get Wiseman.
This is the one
Dude,
thing
they're
that
gonna get Wiseman. They're gonna get Wiseman. They're gonna get Curry back. They're gonna get Clay back.
Draymond's still there.
Yeah.
Draymond is still there.
This is the one thing I thought about this earlier in the week, and I want to ask you guys. How is the league, like in 10, 15 years, gonna remember DeMarcus Cousins?
The guy who tore his Achilles.
The guy who was
And
the
then
best
ruined
center
his
in the league
career.
for like 5 years.
And then he just had bad character flaws that held him back.
Character problems plus the injuries, like
It's pretty sad. If he had a good character, I think he would have been at least in our star tier.
he
Maybe
fell
elite.
apart though. Last year or 2 years ago, I would have put him in star tier before he really got hurt.
Yeah.
He
He
played
teamed up with AD, right?
Yeah, he played amazing basketball in Sacramento at first, then gets traded to the Pelicans for Buddy Hield.
Goat, Buddy Hield.
He actually played pretty well there until he got hurt. Then signed a 1 year with Golden State. Then doesn't get his ring because Kawhi Leonard exists.
I mean, he played decent in Golden State. I mean, he fell off from what he's used to, but I mean, it wasn't bad.
He fell off, and then this year he signed with the Lakers, and then there were some character problems in addition to the injuries. So he's out of the league now, and in 10 to 15 years, are we going to remember him?
I don't know.
I think I will. I will.
I think we
definitely
will, for sure. But is he going to be remembered
Because he was like,
is he going to be remembered as the most dominant center in the league for like a good 5-6 year stretch?
No.
Or the guy who
No.
just fell off out of nowhere?
the guy that fell off out
probably.
of nowhere.
Because he was good in a smaller market.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
I have a feeling we're going to see him in that same category as, like, I hate saying this because I hate what ifs. He could be in that same category as guys like Derrick Rose, Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill. It's like, what if he didn't get hurt?
Isn't there a thing going on that
Sure.
Isn't there a thing going around that Derrick Rose, is he a Hall of Famer?
I think I've heard about that.
I heard people talking about retiring his number with the Bulls.
I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I think that they should retire his number.
I think he deserves the jersey retirement in Chicago. But
No, you kidding me?
I wouldn't
Number
have
one?
a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Chicago-born kid goes to the Bulls and
youngest MVP.
youngest MVP ever. Like, I think if he didn't tear his ACL in 2015, the Bulls would have won a championship that year.
Yeah, but you can do
They
what if
could've.
everyone was healthy for so many different things. It changes the course of NBA history.
But
that
the
point.
thing is, that year, was everybody in the playoffs, was all their star players injured?
In 2015?
Was everyone's star player injured?
They would have had a shot.
They would have had a shot.
Was that
Who won in
LeBron's first
2015?
Cavs year? Or was that he in Miami?
No, 2015 was the first Cavs Warriors.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs with that.
Here's a little hot take. I think the D Rose Bulls would have beaten the Warriors.
That first Warriors
don't
team,
know.
maybe.
The second one, the 3-point shooting would definitely just destroy
no
the
way.
Bulls.
No way we wouldn't have beaten them in 2016. 2015, we would have beaten them.
2015, because remember, LeBron James alone took them to 6.
Because that was like when they had Harrison Barnes.
That was when they had Harrison
Dude,
Barnes
we
and
would
Andrew
have.
Bogut.
We would have. I can't talk. The Bulls would have beaten LeBron in the playoffs. Was that the second round, right?
It's hard to say because LeBron beat us every single time. So it's hard to say that would have been different.
We had a 2-1 lead, and then they tied it.
Wait, isn't
They
that a
beat us
different year?
4-2, didn't
Wait,
they?
was that
I
was
think
that
that's a
Miami?
different year. That
I
was a
think we're all
different
thinking
year.
of a different year.
Yeah, I think so too. But if we had Derrick Rose, if Derrick Rose never tore his ACL, Derrick Rose would still be on the Bulls. He'd be an elite player in the NBA still.
Well, he's still great right now with Detroit.
He's still good, but I mean, it's just
He-
like he would still be on the Bulls.
Yeah, he would be.
The Chicago media blew Rose right out of the town. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Because they were like, get off the bench and play. And when you're injured, like everyone was calling him a
Well,
baby, and
Thibodeau rushed him back too many times that became the expectation.
That's true.
he did.
But
I'm
as
just
a
saying,
whole,
Chicago
Thibodeau
media did not
overplayed him.
help.
as a whole, I hate
Yeah,
the
because
whole.
he tore his. When
Yeah.
did he he tore?
He
his
tore
ACL
everything in his knee,
early.
basically.
Yeah.
He tore everything. Like he tore his ACL early. Like I mean, late in like the first time he tore it, right?
I thought the first time was in the playoffs against Philly, right?
The
No,
Sixers.
It was the Sixers with like
Yeah.
40-something seconds
Yeah,
left, and the
when he
Bulls
shouldn't
were
have
up by
even
like
been in
10.
the game.
Yeah, like what the hell is that? Thibodeau ruined his career. Personally, I think Tom Thibodeau ruined his
I can
career.
agree with that.
He's a great coach, but he just pushes his guys way too much.
He pushes.
There was no
his
need
young
for
guys way
Derrick
too much.
Rose to be in with 40 seconds left and when we're up by 10. There's no reason.
There isn't.
Because he's not that great of a defender.
And you're up 10, so it's not like you're going to be blowing a 10-point lead with 40 seconds
Just-
left unless someone goes full T-Mac on you.
It should have been
Yeah.
Joakim, Carlos Boozer, Luol Deng on the floor, and
Those are good. Luol Deng was good.
Yeah, he was.
Didn't we have Taj at that time too?
I'm not sure. I
I
think
don't
so.
remember. I want to say so.
Like, I honestly don't care. Like I know that there was a few players in that play the same position, but I don't care. I think somebody like somebody as versatile like Joakim Noah, I think he would have been able to play like a different position. Like for 40 seconds.
For 40 seconds, yeah, but his
So
shooting was just
If
not.
you're up by 10, you just unload the bench. You don't
Yeah,
need
you just
any
put
of
in your
those good players
reserves.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need any of them in. Luol Deng was a big piece of that team. You don't want him getting hurt either.
Yeah.
That's true.
But as a whole, I just hate those NBA what-ifs because it just changes
true.
everything. If you're going to make the
true.
argument that, oh, yeah, if this team was fully healthy, then you better be doing it for everyone.
Just imagine 2 championship parades in Chicago in 1 year.
That would have been crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because 2015, the Hawks won
And the
too.
Hawks.
And then it would have had the Cubs the next year. So
Yeah.
it would have been 3 in 2 years.
Yeah, that would have been insane. Well, there's gonna be a few more coming up.
We'll see about
Get
that.
number 7. Bulls get number 7.
And the White Sox are gonna get one too.
If you're going to
Maybe
use the what-if
baseball
argument,
talks
though,
coming.
if you're going to use the what-if everyone was fully healthy argument, the Warriors shouldn't have a dynasty.
Tim Anderson's gonna have a ring. So is Yohan Moncada.
I think it might be time for baseballs coming soon.
All right, so those were our rankings of NBA centers. Once again, if you want to see the rest of this series, you can check out our main channel, subscribe while you're there, and follow us on the social media platforms that we gave you earlier in this episode. We are a weekly podcast, so be back next week for our next episode. And always remember to trust the podcast.